I would like to talk about the scapegoat in the family. So, the scapegoat in the family is the most intelligent person, okay, not just in the family, but usually they are very intelligent, okay, because they know the that are supposed to be given in a emergency or in like according to the situation they know how to react, okay. And in the toxic family, the situation was such a way that they had to fawn, okay. Fawning is a response, okay. There are three four responses: fight, flight, uh, fawn, and there is one more, okay, freeze. Yes, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response, okay. So the fawn response is required, to survive basically. mm, so what happens is, sometimes you are in a situation where you are, to save yourself or to save whatever you are thinking of saving. You kind of fawn in the sense like, you you show the abuser that you have surrendered and you are not against them, just to escape them, you know. So it's kind of a manipulation, I feel. When you fawn, you are actually uh, kind of manipulating the abuser, okay. Because when you fawn, they believe that you are, I'm talking about the people who have the other plan after the fawning, okay. Because if you are, if somebody is a codependent, they will fawn, okay, but that will be the only plan they have, just to fawn, okay. But then when it comes to super empath, especially, they have the plan, like they will fawn in the situation just to escape it, and later on, once they are escaped, they will be open about talking about it, okay. So, or do something about it. So the scapegoat in the family is actually someone who understands the situation, that this is a situation where I have to take care of myself, and by taking care of self, I mean that the only way to save yourself uh, from the situation is to fawn, okay. But then it becomes a habit, okay. And then once you start your healing journey, you are supposed to slowly reduce this fawning, okay. Because now you are an adult, you don't have to fawn, but there are emergency cases where you are supposed to fawn, okay, to save yourself, save your life, okay. That happens. It's a natural response of anybody to fawn in an emergency situation, okay. So people say that the scapegoat gets abused. It's true that they do get abused, okay. But the scapegoat is just the opposite of the narcissistic parent, okay. And they hate the scapegoat because the scapegoat is actually very empathetic person, okay. And they understand emotions on a very deeper level, whereas the narcissist is just faking that they understand emotions, okay. They fake you know emotions, and in front of other people they pretend that they are very empathetic. I'm talking about the covert narcissists, okay. They pretend that they are the sweetest person on earth, but they are the wolf in the sheep's clothing. They are the cruelest one, okay. So, and this being sensitive to emotions is not a weakness, and your narcissistic parent made you believe that having emotions or being sensitive is a weakness, but it's actually not a weakness, it's a strength. You can sense people's emotions when you walk in a room. You can read the room, okay, uh, by just feeling the sensations of that room, okay, and accordingly you can you know act. And super empaths are actually valued once they are out in the world, okay. So the thing is, there also in the world also you will face a lot of narcissistic people, okay. And then the thing is, you have to do your healing and protect your energy. You have to understand that your energy is something not everybody deserves, okay. And you have to be very choosy of the people who are going to be around you, in the close circumstances, okay, uh, some circumferences, okay. So super empaths are somebody who are just not super empaths, okay. They have also narcissistic tendencies, okay, in the sense that if they see somebody narcissistic, okay, uh, if the super empath does not know that this person is narcissistic, they will show their empathy, okay. And once they show their empathy, uh, they will start to obviously, when you are with somebody, you know the super empath will actually start to notice patterns of that person as to how that person's mind works, okay. So once the super empaths understand the pattern of that particular person's mind, then like they will understand, the super empath will understand that because of the pattern, it makes you conclude whether the person is narcissistic or empathetic, okay. So accordingly, once they recognize the other person is narcissistic, they will distance themselves from that person. Or if they are actually very hurt by that person, then obviously they will um burst out. That could happen, okay. I have done that, okay. They go supernova. There is something called supernova theory, okay. You can search about it on YouTube, you will understand. It's the extreme explosion of the anger, uh, from the super empath towards the narcissist, because the narcissist have been playing mind games for a very long time. So they cannot bear their mind game. The super empath cannot bear the mind game for a very long time, and they will uh, break the whole mind game thing, okay. uh, once it once it for all, okay. um, because they and the super empaths do not believe in playing mind games, the super empaths are highly emotionally intelligent people, okay. That's why the narcissistic people think that the super empath is actually selfish. But the thing is, the super empath has the balance of both narcissism and empathetic way, okay. So because the super empaths, how they are designed, if you are a codependent, the super empath may before the healing, may be very empathetic to you, okay. But then the codependent is someone who, you know um, will get the empathy from the super empath, and again go back to the narcissist, okay. Again will take the side of the narcissist, okay. Codependent are like, they will be very self pity, doing the self pity thing. Okay, even if the super empath try to make the codependent understand that, see, this is not good for you, you're supposed to get out of the situation. Okay, but the codependent, sometimes have put themselves in a situation wherein they cannot get out of it. Okay, their mind thinks that it's just too hard for them to get out, and sometimes they do actually put themselves in a situation that wherein it's very hard for them to get out. They really do sometimes, make themselves put themselves in a shit. Okay, so before the healing, the super empaths may try to console the codependent, but then after the healing, they can they them after the healing, okay, they have also healed their codependencies, okay, somewhere. So then in that case, even if the codependent or even the empathetic person, comes to the super empath and tries to take help from the super empath, or like show some codependencies, then the super empath cannot bear it. Okay, for a very long time, like they might stop talking to them, or contacting them, even if they are good to the super empath. That's how it is. Okay, and for the narcissist, super empaths usually create boundaries. Okay, uh, and super empaths are, I feel like they keep themselves distant from people. Okay, because they need a lot of time to be by themselves. And also, super empaths are somebody, if they cannot have much friends. Okay, because having a friend circle and everything, that takes lot of energy. Okay, it consumes lot of energy, talking about this, that, where to go, what to eat. Oh, this girl, gone through this, and that girl went to this. Are you coming with me? This, that. Super empath cannot do all those things. Okay, they have their own life. Okay, in the sense that they just want to focus on themselves. They focus on themselves. That's all they want. Okay, they have very imaginative mind. Okay, so they are, and they think of other things. Okay, uh, in general. Okay, so yeah, this is what it is. um, Super empaths are actually emotionally so intelligent that they are walking way ahead of the narcissist. Okay, narcissist or anybody, because the narcissist mind works only in a loop. There is a playbook that they are following, actually. And they understand that emotions, what the narcissist has basically understood in the initial stages of their life, is that uh, life is, going to throw a lot of scary things on them, because they have seen something scary in their childhood. See, the thing is, when people just, when people say that, narcissists have seen very bad childhood and everything, who has not seen it? Huh? Everybody has seen it. Some or the other thing is something that has hurt the child in their childhood. Okay, so this is not something justifiable. Okay, the thing is, they are shit scared people. Okay, their souls are so scared that see, I'm talking about the soul. Okay, if you see a empath's soul, okay, like I'm saying, in the case of empath's soul, in the childhood, when they see this, this, the domestic violence and everything, they think of moving towards the right direction. And what this narcissistic soul think of, saving themselves and manipulating people. I'm talking about on the soul level, okay? The soul does not have any age, okay? So I feel like all of us in, have made the decision to live in a such a way, in a particular way in our childhood itself, by seeing, when we saw, different circumstances in our life in our childhood, our soul had decided as to how to live in this world at that age itself, okay? So it's not that a narcissist will change, you know in this lifetime or anything, okay? They might regret what they have done, but they will not change, okay? Because being a narcissist is something they have chosen to be, okay? In Hindi they say hriday parivartan ho jana, okay? Nothing works on narcissist, okay? Nothing, okay? The empaths actually change, they change throughout their life, okay? So the empath, before the healing, used to help people without any understanding of who are bad people, who are right people, okay? They just used to believe that humans are humans, but when you grow old, you understand that there are good energies, there are bad energies, and these energies are affecting the human's mind and soul and heart as well. So according to that, the that realization comes, that yeah, that acceptance comes, you have to accept that this world is just not consisting of humans, there are other energies also working behind the humans, okay? uh, the spirits are working behind these human beings, okay? Through these human beings, sorry, okay? So yeah, super empaths are way ahead of these narcissists, okay? They keep predicting the next step of the super empaths, but super empaths are always unpredictable, because they just respond. They are actually very practical, okay? But then extremely practical, okay? But it does not look like they are practical, okay? Because they understand emotions so well, uh, people think they are emotional, okay? We are emotional, super empaths are emotional, but then emotions also emotions are also, any emotion that you feel has a practical side to it, actually. So any emotion that you feel is not coming up just because it's an emotion. It's coming up because there is a cause, there is a reason for that emotion to come up. Okay, so that's how the super empaths emotions work. So thank you and take care, and I will be posting more videos. So take care, and please subscribe to the channel, and like and comment and share. Thank you. Bye.